Hey friends, Catherine here. I'm here by popular demand showing you how to make paper from paper scraps. It's very straightforward. I just got done doing all of my holiday cards and envelopes, and I have a lot of scrap paper. This is not all from the holiday cards. I had some built up from before as well, but it's time to make it into paper so that it can be reused. To that end, the things that you will need is a large tub big enough to fit your mold and decal. You will need a mold and decal. I am using a 8-inch embroidery hoop. This will produce 8-inch across pieces of round paper. And for the decal portion, I'm just using some tulle. You might not be able to see it. Let me see if I can. Some tulle that I've stretched into it. That will scoop the paper pulp out of the water. You will also need several towels, something to wet your paper scraps in, and something to blend your paper scraps up with. That's leaking. That's fine. Something to blend your paper scraps up with once you have cut them up and soaked them. I recommend soaking your paper for at least an hour, and any size scraps will do, so even tiny little scraps like from the edge of a piece of paper you can cut up and use. So it's great for getting the most out of any paper that you have. I've already been working on it, so my station is all already set up and ready to go. I have my next set of paper scraps put together in this cup, and you probably can't tell from the top there, but this set of paper scraps, it was actually sorted to lean toward the color green, so hopefully it will be green when it's all done and ready to go. I'm just going to take those and put them into my little blender. Hopefully without making too much of a terrible mess. And now we're getting into the layer of green. You can see it there better. And I bet I can get all of this paper into there. Okay, and this paper has been soaking for about an hour, so it's pretty soggy, which is exactly what you want for your blender, because blenders don't like blending dry things, and paper goes to pieces better when it's wet. So let's have the two work hand in hand. Then I'm just going to blend this for about a minute. Blending things for a minute is super boring, but we've got to do it, so I will speed through this part because it's also very loud. And there you have it, green pulp. I like to pull out, I usually end up with a couple pieces just around the edge that are not fully pulverized, so I like to pull those out. But this is green paper pulp. And I already have enough pulp in this water. I was doing blue papers before I started recording. But if I didn't have enough pulp in this water, if I just pulled some off and needed to put more pulp in, I'd take about 2 good forkfuls of paper pulp and stick it in there. Then you want to really mix it up. You want to get all of the pulp that you can suspended into your water mix. And you want your water to be at least twice as deep as whatever you're using for a mold and decal. Then you just dip your mold in, pull it out, let the water drain as best as it will. which can take a second. And then you place it on your towel and toss another towel on top of it and press the water out. Press as much water as you can out of it. The pressing is what's going to make the paper retain its shape. So the better pressure you give it, the better it will come out of your mold when you are ready to take it out. Once that's been pressed, you should flip it over onto another towel. I've already got one over here because I was already working on it. And press it again to get as much water out of it again. And then you can set it aside. So let me show you that. This one's going to be a little messed up. Okay. Flip it over. And I like to run my finger right around the outside. This mesh is loose enough that I can see where it's releasing the paper. And I can also encourage it to release the paper from the back side. But there we go. That should do it. And then I like to shift my mold one direction and then the other direction in 4 directions, and then I can just lift it off and it comes away. This paper's a little messed up around that edge, but it's not too bad. Now, you can leave it like this and just let it air dry under something heavy. You do want to put it under something heavy if you're going to do that, because it will tend to cup and warp. This is a sheet that's already dried. It will tend to cup and warp if you don't have it under something heavy. Or, if you're impatient, like me, you can put another towel over top of it and help it along with a hot iron. You want to keep your iron moving if you do this. You do not want your iron sitting in one place for very long. And you're only helping it so that it doesn't take quite as long to dry. You're still going to set it aside with a towel between your sheets of paper under something heavy. I would not use books because this is wet. And as you and I both know, books don't tend to like wet things. But that's it. You leave it under something heavy. I'm using a ceramic tile. And you come back the next day and you have paper. It's pretty straightforward. When you're putting your paper pulp into your water, more is better than less. And that's it. If you don't feel like continuing for the day and you want to stop, you can strain your paper pulp out of the water and let it dry out in a clump, like that clump that I just tossed in there, and it will be ready to go the next time. You can just toss it in and it'll break up and dissolve. And that's it. It's very straightforward. There's not a particular recipe that you need. Any paper will do as long as it's not slick paper. You don't want to use magazine paper or anything that's finished in something that's not going to dissolve in water. Conversely, things like PVA glue are fine because PVA glue does dissolve in water. And that's it. It's that easy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, definitely remember to like and if you haven't, subscribe. And I will see you all another day. Bye!